Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Lanji, winner of the Big Flower Fight, and I'm here on the first ever episode of And Those Other Queens. I am here with my very, very special guest, but first we are going to start episodically covering and reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2. And I'm so blessed and so excited to have the finalist, fan favorite, sex positive, CAIN, who is here from all the way from SLAG Wars into my Zoom. How are you?
I'm good, babe. How are you? You keeping well?
I'm really good. I'm alive. I'm a COVID survivor, and I love the fact that you're giving me leopard print and I'm giving you slight zebra vibes, maybe like newspaper print.
I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah. So what did you think of the show so far? Like we've been waiting for ages. We have gone through a pandemic. They've announced the queens, and we have an amazing array of talented queens. Like, what do you think about the vibe of the show so far?
Love it. Been gagging for it. I think we all have. Yeah, not even just within the gay community. I think it's just been one of those things where it's like we've binged everything on Netflix. We've done the whole of Now TV. It's like we're ready for something creative.
Yeah.
It's been over it's gone already. I like blinked, made some notes, and then it was gone.
I completely agree with you. I think for a long time we've been hoping that Drag Race UK would be a thing, and now that we had it, I think we saw season 1, and I felt personally, I don't know if you felt this way, but I felt like season 1 was just like a walkthrough. It's like, this is what drag looks like in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as this season opens, you know that we have a younger cast who is like way more contemporary, way more fashion forward. They are there to start fights, and they are there to start like just getting their like heel stuck in. So
absolutely.
The show opens and we have all the queens' entrances. The first queen that walks into the workroom is Lawrence, who I think is absolutely hilarious. What did you think of that look?
Hilarious. So funny. My notes were hilarious. I went back to that note and said that she's so quick with like criticism, and when just anything is thrown at her, she's just like, she's punny, she's comedy, she's great. I love her.
I think there's this beautiful like balance of being witty but also self-deprecating. So like, as much fun as she was making about herself, she was also being able to take the piss out of everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so next up we have Cherry Valentine, who unfortunately gets the hat drop edit.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love that. I love that they kept that in. And I think, again, it kind of links onto the Lawrence thing of like taking the piss out yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
Is the way forward.
I thought she looked absolutely divine when she walked in, like total glamour queen. Yeah, really nice. And like, it was so refreshing as well, because I don't think we've ever had a queen that was that like put together. So I just was like, it set the tone for the rest of the entrances. And that hat drop, I had a moment where I was like, I really wonder if they're going to edit that. They edited it in, obviously, but there was a moment where I was like, I wonder if Cherry was wondering whether they would edit it.
Oh, I'm glad the wig didn't come off with it. Imagine all of it, all gone.
I don't know what I would do.
And also, I saw that she did this interview recently, and she was touching on being an NHS worker, especially this year. So she gets like double claps for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I clap for this.
Because you've got to remember this is like, because you've got to remember this was filmed like last year, essentially. So it's like, to put all these looks together as such a polished look, and this during everything is like, hats off.
And this is that's it. This is one of the shows that have had a break in production because of COVID. So it'll be interesting to see how they started the show and then how they react to it. And so the third queen that walks into the workroom is Tia Coffee, who walks in and immediately is captivating with her comedy and the reveal.
Oh my god, yes, love. So I've worked with Tia before, and she's very, very. She's another one that isn't afraid to kind of poke fun at herself, and also the cliches of drag and Drag Race. So it was really good.
What made me really happy was we had this elevation of aesthetic, but then all of a sudden this like reduction of silliness and kookiness, and I just I really appreciate it, because it was like, let's not take it too seriously. Remember, it's Drag Race UK.
Yeah,
which is really.
This is the first time I've noticed and appreciated how they structure people going in, because it kind of works so well.
So the fourth queen that we have walking in the workroom is Bimini, Boulash,
Big Boulash.
Yeah, who immediately screams with excitement that they are vegan.
We love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's 2021.
Absolutely. Do not assume gender, and do not assume that person's choice.
Diet.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really, really nice moment. I love the fact that she was like, I will not stop going on about being vegan. And then we have that beautiful line by Lawrence, who's like, her and I, we eat chicken nuggets together.
Oh my God, yeah, me and my sisters eat chicken nuggets. She's like, she's vegan, babes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when my best friend in high school, like she told me that she was vegetarian. She almost came out of the closet as a vegetarian, and she was like, I have something to tell you.
That's
Like,
privilege.
It's not gonna change, is it? I just remember she was telling me, and I was like, so that means that we can't eat chicken nuggets anymore together. And she was like, no, like you can still have them. I just don't want them. And I was like, I don't know, this is really weird for me. And I remember I was just like, for a year, I just kept trying to feed her chicken nuggets. So I really relate, it resonates with me.
So you got double portions, babe. That's good, you're eating well.
Ain't nobody sharing that share box. Then we are fancying the spice with Ginny Lemon entering.
The best thing to come out of the West Midlands.
Yeah, the left nipple of the UK, she so eloquently puts it.
I'm obsessed. So I'm originally from Birmingham, so it was such a creature comfort to see her and even hear her and smell her. Like I felt like I could smell her.
Yeah, I feel like there are certain queens that you can like, you get almost a sensory immersive experience with.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I see Ginny, I see yellow, I smell armpit. Like I get drag, and I understand the whole drag troll notion. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love it. And you can just tell that her queer references are going to be from all over the shop, but so well done.
Yeah, and I assumed that Ginny was going to come in and be the life of the party, and so it was really weird for me to see Lawrence being actually like the funniest in terms of sound bites, and so it was a nice change, because I love it when queens are unexpected. Next up into the workroom, we had Ellie Diamond, who walked in, and I was almost like taken back. Like, she looks stunning.
Yeah, she looks like a drawing. She looks edited, like hairbrushed on.
Yeah, and she's one of the youngest queens in the entire show. She's 21 years old, and
she's
that's
gorgeous.
That's a long time ago for me.
I literally just put cute for her.
Did you?
Yeah,
I wrote.
There was nothing to say but cute in capitals.
I wrote Ellie Diamond 21, that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that cute bitch.
And so after Ellie, we have Sister who comes in. We have Sister who comes in with this blue number on her face. RuPaul calls it a target in the mini challenge. What was your thoughts on your first impressions on Sister?
Did you get the Titanic reference?
I heard it, but it went by really quickly. What did she say?
She said, so it's a Rose from Titanic reference where she sees the Titanic. She's like, I don't know what the big fuss is about. It's nowhere near as big as the ship was called. But I love that. I think that's so funny. And the other queens are just like, you are. I think because Drag Race, even though it's so new in the UK, I think because it's been going on so long in the US, I think these girls must sit with what they want their entrance line to be so long. I was the same with SLAG Wars, and there's not even an entrance line. I was like, right, I'm gonna say like this and this and this.
I spent the majority of the big flower fight just trying to drop in any sort of drag reference I possibly could, and I even like referenced Madagascar, the cartoon, when I walked in and was like, "Oh, sugar, honey, iced tea," and everyone was like,
"Yeah." All
great.
Of a sudden, it's just like every reference that you've ever had, you're like,
yeah. Who am I now?
Yeah.
But I'm really proud of the fact that when I was poking those flowers through that dress, I just went, bam, like Alexis Mateo, and that just made it into the trailer, and it made it into the episode, and I was like, yes, job done.
That's it, soundbite done.
So now we have like one of my favorite queens on the show walking in. We have Tace, who's Welsh. Literally need a translator, but I'm cool with it because she is beautiful, and also I kind of get it. I get the vernacular.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Love. I've been lucky enough to work with her so many times. I just love this. She's just fierce. It's
really is.
To a T, yeah.
I forgot that you have like insider knowledge of these queens as well.
Yeah, but I'm gonna not be biased. I'm not gonna not be biased.
Yeah, because I know some of the queens like from a distance and a bit. I have a proximity to them, but it's one of those things where like I don't know them well enough in order to. I've seen them perform. I've been to clubs with them, but I don't know them well enough to like know whether I like them or not. Oh my god, my delivery's here.
Oh my god, get it.
Let me get it. Down luxury. Yeah.
Are you gonna scoff it now?
I mean, we should have had Deliveroo and Drag Race. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, that would have been a good
dinner.
I
mean, I did try once to do Deliveroo and Drag Race, sort of like a moment where I was like eating and doing this commentary, but then I just like just kept eating. Like I was trying to like eat a nugget, a chicken nugget every time I saw a drag queen, and like they were gone really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because it's Drag Race. So the next queen that walks into the room is Joe Black.
Yes.
I am super taken by Joe Black. I think Joe Black is like one of like, I love a cabaret queen. I love that aesthetic, the vaudevillian sort of like femme fatale. I think it's just like hugely cool, and like also she's an older queen. What were your feelings?
I love it. It's very like Brighton Pier, where you put the money in and it kind of tells you your future. Kind of that energy. I love that. Yeah. And it is oldie and it is cabaret in terms of her style being not old, not her. But it's done really well, which is really hard to find. I think you find these older queens and they're kind of stuck to their grassroots of how they do makeup, but it seems like she's adapted, and she speaks about it as well. She's kind of adapted to keep up with the show and the change in drag. So that was really interesting to see.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I think I'm really excited to see like how she integrates with the actual queens as well, because you can tell that like there is a separation in terms of aesthetic and experience. The rest are like young and cool and like clubby, and I just, as soon as she walked in, I was like, cool, this is like a nice addition to the team. Next up we have Estina Mandela, who walks in and immediately says, "I'm rude, rowdy, and disrespectful." It was just one of those things where I didn't know if it was off-putting or made me like her even more.
If you're going into it with like pure intentions, like, this is what I am.
I was like, if you're like, I'm just gonna own this moment, and then I had a moment where I was like, oh, okay, like maybe like the producers just ask you on the spot, like, how would you describe yourself, and you're just like, well, this is how I feel right now.
yeah, that's it as well.
Yeah, because I remember
shows that contrast of like a Titanic reference as an entrance reference, and then hers is like rude. I'm like, okay.
All right, cool. No one asked. Second to last queen who walks into the workroom, we got Veronica Green, who comes in and says in the confessionals that I am Gollum to glam, and is dressed like the cutest like schoolboy calculator nerd librarian vibe.
She looks like she's like Chicken Little. You know, like it's very like, it's just hilarious. It's just like a it's like a Beano comic almost.
Yeah, I just like the contrast is just so stark, but also like they're both like, Veronica is beautiful as in Geek, and then and then you have like Veronica and Boy, and you're just like, you're so cute and adorable, and like I just literally want to like cuddle both of them. Which is a nice feeling.
The power of makeup.
Yeah, the power of makeup and the power of just being cute. Point blank, period. The last queen we have walking in the room to like round out our entire cast of season 2 of Drag Race is Ahura, who has this Wizard of Oz moment and just throws Toto over her shoulder.
She stomps through, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she comes in and I was just like, she walked in, I was like, whoa.
She's someone's best Judy. I was like, whoa.
But I really appreciated the reference, and I was like, comes in like at the end of this yellow brick road, and it's just like here, and like the tornado has stopped and she's arrived. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love it if she was the first one in and threw the dog. Awkwardly go and pick like, right, I'll save that for later.
Exactly. So RuPaul comes in, welcomes everyone. It's 2020, new season of Drag Race, and the mini challenge that is announced is Wimbledon. Which I thought, which I thought was a cute little pun. I love a pun and a dad joke.
I like that.
Photographer Kevin McDade is taking pictures of all the queens. What were some of your favorite highlights from that moment?
Lawrence. I think Lawrence just having no nerves and just speaking to RuPaul like she's some geezer down at the pub. I just love it. When she's like, "How are you, Lawrence?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you?" Like, it's just so funny.
I love having like a huge, like not even splash, like a drench of Scottish in the show. And, like it's just no holds bar. Lawrence knows what's up, and like it's just there to have a really good time, and like isn't really fussed about whether or not they're making a good impression.
It's heartwarming. It really is heartwarming.
Yeah. I think what I noticed is that a lot of the other queens who like are performance queens and dance queens, like they literally just went into like photo shoot mode. And for me, I personally like I love someone who can read the room and be like, okay, cool, this is like what's happening. And they're throwing tennis balls at me and I have a tennis racket, but like I'm going to like try to come up with something that's going to be the best for this situation. Not just like go into a split or like just strike a pose like a Vogue cover. Like that was
like Ginny flicking pancakes. I just think
Yeah.
People that aren't afraid to get down and dirty with storylines or like just narratives. To me, it's just like, oh yeah, Vampire Twink Hunter.
Yeah, that, and also like the rubber chicken moment on SLAG Wars.
Oh god, yeah.
I was like, this is, that
you just have to have a laugh with it.
I mean, I'm not even a florist, so I just had to make it up as I went along.
Oh, babe, I'm not even a sex worker.
I think it was really cute to see Veronica lie everyone on the floor and do like a little family picture. I was just like, that's so cute. I thought it was really sweet, and also I was just like, my boy crush on Veronica's just growing by the second. Needs to be noted that it took 16 minutes into the show for much better to be referenced.
I thought it was. I think that's good. That was incredibly good. Yeah.
And they didn't.
That's like a third.
Yeah, I was like, get it in there, get it out. We don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, hold it out. In with the new.
They'll reference it again at the final.
Yeah, and during that mini challenge, I really love the fact that Ashraf, who is the part of the Brit crew, is so adorable.
So adorable, like just genuine laughter to everything that anyone does or says. It's just like,
and it just like, it kind of stole the show. And there was a moment where I was just like, yes, there's my POC, like South Asian representation. We have Ashraf there just like being like a complete and utter cutie. Lots of love to you, Ashraf, if you see this. So RuPaul brings everyone back into the room. Lawrence is announced as the winner of the challenge, which is really cute. I'm like totally rooting for that corner. And RuPaul says that it has been 200 years since the Gay Liberation Front.
50.
50. Why 50 years. Oh, 2020 is the 50 year. Sorry, I can't even read my writing. I was like, 200 years, that's a long time ago. And I was like, that's not true. That's okay for like, how old am I?
So last year marked 50 years of...
Yeah. Brilliant. Now we're here in TV land. It's 50th anniversary of this Gay Liberation Front, and we are tributing all our British gay icons. So everyone has to dress like their living, dead, or most inspired British gay icon, and then they need to dress in an outfit inspired by their hometown. So that's quite exciting. I mean, it's so much more manageable than season 13, which is having like split cast, people moving around like crazy. Day night looks, and then you have this like rap verse moment that's happening. Like that is obviously 13 seasons in, but it's really nice to have season 2 begin with us like literally just going to a place where we're like going back to bare basics, and it's just like show us the looks, show us where you're from.
And it's like education as well. I think so many people, I don't know if the producers realized it at the time, but I think so many people realized a lot from Davina's speech last season. So I think maybe they're trying to like sprinkle and pepper sort of like educational little hits and tips in this season. Who would you have done as a gay icon, a British gay icon?
I mean, I think I don't know if I should do this for Snatch Game, but I just immediately was like, should I be Gok Kwan? But
why not?
Why not? But then I just had a moment.
That would actually be a really good one.
Yeah, I thought it was quite clever. But then I mean, Freddie Mercury would be my go-to anyways, because I feel like that's my vibe. But it brings up a really interesting conversation about POC representation, because Estina and Taste we're both doing Naomi, and they're having this moment where they're like, well, like, is there anything else to do? And I realized that we, in the last 3 to 4 years, have seen such a huge rise in Black, Brown, and mixed ethnic minority groups having larger voices and being a larger presence in the queer community. And I really felt like my heart sort of panged, because I'm like, that's been the truth for us for a very long time. And I'm really glad that it's changing now. Who would you have done?
I put Kate Bush. I literally did put Kate Bush.
Really?
Yeah. And then flash forward to Ginny. I wouldn't have done that outfit though. But then going back to that, I would have done...
Which Kate would you be?
I would have been Babushka through and through. Yeah, with the like...
I remember 10 years ago when I first moved to London, I went to this like, I think it was a queer like cabaret night performance thing, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I'd never seen like drag queens in real life before. 23 years old, very young. And I remember this drag queen, or this guy basically just walked up on stage, and he just said like, I've been really struggling with my sexuality and my orientation and my gender, and I don't really know where I belong. And he's like, but then one day I was listening to Babushka, and I realized when you don't know who to be be Kate Bush. And literally,
I love that.
Just, it was incredible. And it's always resonated with me as a really important moment of being like, you can be anybody. And so I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Cain.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I first moved to London, I came across this Facebook event that was like, it was a flash mob of Wuthering Heights, and it was like, it was going to be like, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of people, and you had to wear your like red, and they were all going to do the dance. And I wanted to go with my friend, and they didn't go, and I, to this day, regret it. Hopefully after COVID we can arrange one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it again. Like, just literally, everyone just write down your regrets.
Get Ginny to host it.
Yeah, you and I are both promoters. We can like, we can make a thing of this.
Yeah.
A Wuthering Heights flash mob hosted by Ginny. Fancy a slice.
I love it.
So good. I can't get enough. A really interesting moment that I was watching, and I really wanted to make note of this and get your opinion as well, is vulnerability and confidence that was displayed by Lawrence when Lawrence refused to take his drag makeup off for a little while. How did that make you feel?
Sad, really. It's like it is like this armor, and I've spoke about it a lot before in the past with like how people use different vices and different vehicles as armor, and you kind of forget that drag is an ultimate one of that. You essentially create another character and another alter ego that you change their appearance, sorry, and maybe their opinion in certain cases. And it's just like someone like all through what we've been speaking about now has been like, oh yeah, Lawrence, like her down to earth humor and stuff like that. But then as soon as there's a glimmer of like vulnerability, you kind of forget, right? Like so far up until now, she's such a strong, confident person, and then she reveals that maybe she's not.
And I think it's worth noting that like even in the world of drag, where we're celebrating inclusivity and telling everyone that they're all winners and that there's a place for everybody, even within that, we should still be conscious of the framework of the moment where people take off their drag. Like I noticed that there were a lot of people and a lot of conversations in that room about who's hot, are there cuties? And I was like, I think we should be getting to a point now where we don't need to be discussing those things. I think we should really be looking at people as people, and people as like a beautiful mosaic in all different shapes, forms, and genders and colors. And like, and that was a moment where I was like really seeing the fact that it is affecting someone in the room, and it made me, it made my heart hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's mad. It's kind of like these certain shows like X Factor and stuff like this. These shows are kind of fizzling out because of, I think the energy of them is very that you can't sit with us, you're not good enough and stuff like that. And shows like Flower Fight and Great British Bake Off, where it's kind of like love wins and like, you smashed it, and that kind of energy are kind of on the rise. And even SLAG Wars to a certain extent, it's kind of like that hugging, this is your home, you're amazing energy, I think is the future of television. Although Drag Race is still very, very like, may the best person win, you have to send this person home. I think essentially it's the characters like Lawrence and like Sister when she speaks with her that change it and turn it into more of a positive reality show.
Absolutely. I really, really respected Sister for their feedback to Lawrence and making him feel more comfortable in the room. And I think it's super important for us to remember that, like, no matter how far we are on our journey of acceptance of ourselves and our confidence, like, always make sure that you're reading the room, making sure that everyone feels like they're with you. Super, super important. I wanted to comment on Ahura immediately spilling a bit of tea and just like bringing up like their opinion of who they think should be going home. What were your thoughts on them earmarking Tia and Estina as to send back?
I just think that's like, I understand that it's drag and I understand that it's very much competition, but I just think that sort of energy does not gel with me at all. And especially like, as we said at the start, it's like this was filmed at the start of the pandemic at a time where it's kind of like creatives weren't really knowing what they were doing and stuff like that. And then to turn on another creative so soon into the competition. Like, why are you being like that? Like, it's very, maybe that's me. Maybe that's why I'm not good television.
No, I mean, you're great television. I mean, you caught my attention. I was like, I want to know.
Didn't win though.
You don't need to win. Winning isn't everything.
No, but that whole energy of, maybe it's different when you do drag full time and it's your job and this is how you put bread on the table. But I would never think to attack another queer creative, especially considering the year we've just had. So. I would have
Fair
punched you in the
play.
fucking face.
I love you for saying that, and I completely agree. I think it was interesting because Tia came in and obviously like even said themselves, they're like, I don't really feel like I'm here to lower the tone a bit and like in terms of aesthetic and just be fun and enjoy myself. So like it was interesting to see someone else clock that as weak. So I'd be really keen to see how that plays out. And then the other thing was I felt like Estina was the choice of Estina from a horror might have been coming from a place of jealousy. And it was, and I was like, I remember being on the flower fight and just being very opinionated. And I was like, I was never really mean to people. I just knew what I didn't like and what I did like, and I just would tell the people to their face as well as in confessionals. And so so there's a moment where I'm like, does she know that she's being recorded when she said that? Because she was like clearly whispering.
Yeah, it's weird that as well. She kind of strikes me as someone that is very RuPaul religious, and maybe she has watched every single season. She knows the buzzwords, she knows what's going to be memeable, she knows what's going to get the tweets and the reactions and that kind of stuff. So maybe that's kind of, she has this maybe US mentality when really
a US
shit
mentality.
Don't fly over here,
RuPaul religious. You heard that here first with CAIN. What's your religion?
Oh, I hate it. Ultimate pet peeve when someone's lingo is only ever Drag Race. It's very like,
right. What's your lingo?
Oh, gibberish.
I would be like
broken English.
Mine's like, mine's off license mixed with a bit of Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, mine's like Simpsons references or something.
That's incredible. Okay, so RuPaul walks in, first look of episode 1 of season 2. He comes in with this beautiful, like, I think Izzy Miyake reference rainbow look. It's really, really beautiful. Pleats, metallic pleats. Reminded me of London designer Kitty Joseph. So if anyone wants to capture that look or like even reference that look up Kitty Joseph's work. It's so stunning. And our guest judge is Elizabeth Hurley. I thought she was dead.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
She's in Austin Powers. Maybe she died in that.
Did she? Oh, I'm not sure. I was like, surely she should have been in something recently, but I don't know what her backstory is. I'm just glad to see her living, breathing, and looking beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's so well spoken. I need to take notes.
I noticed that as well. I was like, even the way she challenged Michelle Visage, it's like such a contrast to Cheryl Cole. What's confused?
But she's like, no.
Yeah, and you always just see this like really like beautiful like grimace on Michelle's face, which is just like not again. So we have Joe Black coming up first with David Bowie. What were your thoughts on that look?
I got it. I really got it. Yeah, I was so surprised when I think it's Michelle is like, oh, I think you could have done a more commercially obvious Bowie look, but I got it.
I got the reference, but it wouldn't have been such a fine point unless it was paired with the image of David Bowie. And I was like, okay, cool, I understand which Bowie that is. But I think if I was there watching someone come out and not knowing the reference and just maybe even seeing a note saying David Bowie inspired, I would have
got to the end of the runway and gone, David's dead. That's bad taste.
Bad taste. Death anniversary, isn't it? I mean, seriously, look, he's died 5 years ago, and look at what the world's become. It's awful.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, David. I miss you so much. You're incredible. Then we have Estina coming out as Naomi Campbell. You sipping on lemon water. Did you?
God. We're getting into it. I enjoyed it.
I
wouldn't have got it if you didn't have the side-by-side image.
Yeah, true. Again,
but maybe that falls on me. Maybe I'm not a fashion diva.
I don't know. I think Naomi's one of those things where she is iconic and beautiful, and you can see her for who she is, like when she's on the catwalk. But I don't think she replicates easily. So like, I think it was more for me. It read more fashion model, and I couldn't peg Naomi. But it needs to be said that I really appreciate the fact that Estina painted her nose thinner and had the sort of like the sharpness to her. But I feel I really appreciated it. Like I think it was really well done, and I mean credit and props to POC queens who did not have idols growing up. Like if Naomi can be that for them, by all means.
Exactly.
I think that's really, really great. And then we finally get your Kate Bush moment with Ginny.
Babushka. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's good.
You said you wouldn't have worn that outfit. So
I wouldn't have done Wuthering Heights. I would have done Babushka. Yeah. Which is like a full metallic kind of.
We get it, girl. We get it.
You're not on the season.
CAIN likes babushka. So then we have Tia coming out with probably the most conceptual look, I thought.
It's almost too conceptual. I love it. I think it's genius.
Wait, as soon as
Did
she
you
walked
like
out,
it?
as soon as she walked out, I was like, I cannot wait to speak to CAIN about this, because I don't know whether this is like so conceptual it's fine art, or this is so conceptual that it's just a complete miss, or if
I think it's
just
so
right.
smart.
Yeah,
I think it's genius. Yeah.
I mean, I wish.
But I don't know if it hits the brief.
Yeah, I mean, it hits. It's inspired. I mean, you have this like the coding and like the breaking the chain. I love it. I love the rainbow vibe.
But then it's
like
the code. It's the code for non-binary as well. It's just incredible.
And it was really great. I wish he came out with an apple, because then it would have made more sense. Because did you know that Apple, the reason why Apple has this logo on MacBooks isn't apples, because Alan Turing put poison in cyanide in an apple and ate it, and that's how he committed suicide. And it was Apple's nod to Alan Turing and his work within computers.
With the bite out of it.
Yeah, with the bite out of it.
That would have been good.
Yeah, so I was like, a little nod to that, and also like the MacBook in the 80s had the rainbow apple, and I just like, it was just like, I don't think people realize that Apple products like were celebrating pride in such an early stage in the and.
That would have been incredible, babe. You would have won.
I hope British icon dressed as a computer. Well, Tia, good job.
Like keyboard boob tube.
Now, I need to snap to this and give props, because Bimini Boulash comes out as Princess Julia.
I was like, so I watched it with my flatmate who's straight, and I was like, I can't believe she's done this. Like it was like educational. It wasn't an obvious person, but then it kind of was an obvious person if you're involved in the queer London scene. I think it's great.
And Bimini and Princess Julia have very similar personalities, are very close, and they both work in East London. I have to say, and take this moment to say, that Princess Julia is probably one of the most iconic ambassadors and allies of the queer community, especially in East London. Like, has been DJing since I moved here. I remember, like, I walked up to her one night when I first moved here and was just like, can I interview you for this blog I never finished? But I just like, I didn't even know who she was, and I did the research, and I was so amazed that she was like a part of her, that movement of new romantics, and is still there, like,
and
is
still
surviving.
Very vocal about everything,
and so kind and cute and sweet, and like it made me feel so proud to be a part of East London and London's culture, and to know my proximity to Princess Julia and see Julia celebrated on that stage, and RuPaul being like, yeah. Brilliant.
Love. And now because of old Boulash, everyone gets an education.
Princess Julia, when I see you next, I want to buy you a shot or like get you a whatever drink you want, because like I'm just so proud that you have done your work and your work has been celebrated by Bimini. I think it was just a huge moment for East London. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Lawrence Chaney comes out as Diana Wig.
Yeah.
From the Avengers. My earliest memory of quoting the movie was literally just saying, "How now, brown cow," pretending to be Uma Thurman from the Avengers. And I remember watching all the old the Avengers TV shows, because my grandparents are both from England. And as soon as I clocked it and the penny dropped, I was like, "This is genius."
I kind of don't get it.
Really?
But only because of me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know this. I don't know the reference.
My God. I know. Oh my God, I'm so old. I want to kill myself.
But I took it upon myself to Google it, and it looks good. I mean, so in a way, she's educated.
27. Don't look it up. But The Avengers was a really amazing sort of spy Sherlock Holmes style TV show. It was with Diana Wig in it, and it was a man and a woman, from what I can glean and remember as being a kid, and it was like super clever and fun, and like very Jetsons meets like detective, and it was like very, very cool. And it was brought to life in a Hollywood film with Uma Thurman, and that was one of the moments where I was like, no, I'm definitely gay because I want to dress like Uma Thurman, not be with Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I want to be her.
Yeah, I want to be her. Her as the Avengers, and her as Poison Ivy, and then Diana Wig is just iconic. It's like the original Wonder Woman. They're just the archetypes of being a superhero and being wicked badass.
She's the blueprint.
Yeah, the blueprint, exactly. Cherry Valentine comes in as Freddie Mercury, which is, in my opinion, just iconic.
I think it's great. Yeah,
it's great. And I think
so. This is what you would have done.
I would have done that. I would have probably done Freddie as like and like the whole vest and the leather armband vibe. I did it during lockdown for Icons Only Party. But I did dress that same outfit for a small gig that I did back in the day. It's on my Instagram feed somewhere. But I noticed how specific that outfit is. Like the pink earrings are so key in order to nail the outfit. And just like the size of the breast and like the skirt needs to be a certain kind of glisten. Like I just thought the whole thing was nailed, and I love the bedazzled Hoover.
Love it.
Yeah,
Gender
I love a
bending,
prop.
love it.
I love a prop.
Yeah, do you think there's a rule? You're just allowed as many props as you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be like prop avenue.
Prop to your mama.
Gimmick.
Prop. Yeah.
Yeah, to a point where they'd be like, you
Prop,
rely
prop,
so
prop.
much on props. Yeah. I'd be like, okay.
Whoa. It's like
hat off, like bam, something else.
Yeah, prop underneath.
Yeah, another hat.
Yeah, but how do you fit all that in your suitcase? I just don't understand. Because I think they only get like a limit of like maybe 3 to 5 suitcases. Like you can't bring more than that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Anyone watching this, like how many suitcases do you think that you would take to Drag Race and you were allowed to take to Drag Race? Just riddle me this. I would love to know. I would love to know. So next up is Veronica Green, my boy crush, coming in as Boy George.
Yeah.
Cutest thing ever. Literally, like, I just can't. I'm
with her little snatched abs.
Yeah,
I was like,
Veronica,
okay.
I love you. Yes, you're doing so well already. I'm just like, just so proud. So proud. Ahura comes in as Vivian Westwood. I thought it was very interesting to come out as a Vivian Westwood look rather than Vivian Westwood themselves.
There's so much potential to do Vivian as Vivian. Like the crazy
Vivian has like that
orange
hair.
Yeah. There's so much she could have done. Her herself is an orange.
Yeah, and having like the climate change vibe and everything. I just thought it would be really interesting to actually like embody Vivian and like Vivian's like.
Yeah, you could have been really topical with it as well with the climate change looks.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, props. I understand you work in fashion, and like I think if I was a fashion designer, I would be immediately referencing looks, cuts, and silhouettes rather than the designers themselves. So if any of you love a designer, I urge you to do your homework and find out what those designers stand for, because like some of these designers are geniuses, and I guess with their collections and their fashion houses growing, they get turned into cookie cutter ideas. But I think Vivian Westwood is like an icon in terms of always taking her fashion house outside the context of clothing and putting it into politics and putting it into movement. And like so I think that's so okay, so next up we have Sister coming out as Dusty Springfield. I appreciated it, but I kind of felt like I felt like I was watching Thor being oh my god, I just forgot the name. Who was she in All Stars where she was being Stevie Nicks? Where she had someone who's amazing and iconic, but then like I just think the reference is lost. So my heart sank a bit because I really wanted Sister to do really well, and I just from that point was like, oh, I just had that feeling.
Yeah, she seemed a bit lost, to be honest, compared with the others, which is a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame, but also like the nerves that you're probably going through being on something that is that revered. Like, I was on the big flower fight, but I didn't even know what the show was about. Like,
same with SLAG Wars. It's like, and then it aired, and there were the reviews just like this, and they were like, God, the way that CAIN wore the same trainers on the second day. I'm like, what? How are we reviewing like boy outfits?
Oh my god!
Yeah. But that, again, that's that Drag Race kind of mentality of like everything is scrutinized.
Everything is scrutinized. I even watched the Wimbledon moment, and I clocked that Ellie Diamond was wearing Converse shoes, and I was like, oh cool, I love the fact that she chose to wear Converse shoes. That's probably the only shoes she had. Like, I don't even know what the case is, but I was like, look at how we're so meticulous. Like, I have never done drag, and I'm sitting here being like, I would have done this and I would have done that. So like, I can just like go and do one because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just really want
that.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go now. You can just handle the rest of this. Okay, can you do another 8 episodes?
Me and Alexa.
No, she's off now. I canceled her. So last 2 queens we have for the beginning of the finales, Ellie Diamond and Taste. We have Ellie coming out as Lilly Savage and Taste coming as Naomi Campbell. What was your opinion on Lilly Savage? I thought it was done quite well.
It was done really well. I think it could have been. I think she's such a polished product, isn't she, our Ellie? But I think she could have had a bit more fun with being messy, like Lilly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, kind of, you could have played up to that kind of, because she's an old kind of Blackpool style queen. Yeah. So I think she could have played into that.
I think it was a very clever decision to be Lily. I think it shows her youth as a drag queen of like not understanding that when you put on another character, you need to embody that character. In Snatch Game as well, we've seen that failure happen in like in other seasons of Drag Race where people dress like and they feel like they're like, oh yeah, no, I totally look like it, but they just don't know how to bring that person to life.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Taste coming out as Naomi Campbell. What were your thoughts?
Gorgeous. Snatched. I don't have anything to say about this person other than like crown it.
Really, I kind of feel similar.
I think she's yeah.
Okay, so let's machine gun through these hometown looks, and then we will talk about our ones to watch and the actual elimination. So we have Joe Black coming out as Brighton in Gold Pavilion. I personally felt the look was lost on me because the Gold Pavilion is something that like the pavilion is something that I really love in Brighton, and I spent a lot of time there, and I felt like it just wasn't captured properly.
No, not at all. Again, it kind of looked like the entrance look. It was kind of a bit mystical and not really bright at all.
Yeah, it was a bit more magical, and I think so I think it was a really amazing effort, but I think it missed the mark. Estina came out as Black Girl Magic with her fried chicken and her dreads, and I just
Christian Cowan, ASOS jacket.
Her cornrows. Yeah, it was just incredible, and I love the fact that she was like, she's wearing a jacket bought off the internet and has fried chicken, and I was like, that is it. That is East London.
That's the energy. That is. I don't doubt for a minute that it was on purpose.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I just think it was just really like it was just spot on. I think it's like it's a high street fashion, and it is chicken shop realness. Like I'm just surprised that she wasn't wearing sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a little cherry on top. Then we had Ginny coming out as Worcester, feeling saucy.
Love, yes.
I love it. I love Ginny. I have so much time and space. Tia coming out as Nottingham as Robin Hood.
Great.
Even RuPaul threw a bit of shade though. He was like, Tia coming out as unknown.
Oh, I didn't even clock that.
Yeah, Ru was just like question mark, but I think it was done. It was done quite well. It was cute. I mean, who doesn't love Sherwood Forest? Who doesn't love Robin Hood? Bimini. Did you say not me?
No, I mean I do love it.
Okay, do you? Oh yeah, I was just like, do you see how defensive I got about Robin?
Yeah, I'm a Midlands gal.
Oh yeah, true. I'm gonna talk to my therapist about that. so
Bimini in a football gear.
A football gear swimsuit realness. Like I was just like, this is amazing. Like with that voice, with that Kate Moss look, and that whole homage as well. It's just like finessing it with so much femme. I just had a lot of space and time for it. So I was giving the snap. Lawrence coming out as Charles McIntosh, the stained glass.
In latex. Love.
Yeah, in latex. I thought it was a really great look. I thought it was such a nice departure from what we would consider Scotland to be celebrating, and I thought it was really clever, intelligent, and it positioned Lawrence as a queen to really watch.
Yeah, it's an old reference to old hometown, but in like a modern fabric. Love.
Yeah, and so we had Cherry Valentine coming in for Darlington. Oh my god, I don't even remember what she was wearing. What was she wearing? Oh, Cherry. Oh, the clock.
Oh my gosh, she was the steampunk. Yeah, yes! Of course.
Oh my god.
I don't know anything about Darlington. I thought it was like a coal mine.
Darling. There's tons to know about Darlington.
I thought it was like she was a coal mine village. I thought it was like a coal reference. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. I did like it. It reminded me of the steam clock in Canada, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not from here. But I think that this is a really great challenge because like in America, when they do these like states dresses your state, it's always just like iconography, and I think it's really nice to start producing that for the UK. I think it's a really great idea. So we have Veronica Green coming out as Lancashire as a rose. Stunning. Really?
You think? Well, you are so team Veronica.
I'm so team Veronica.
I just thought it was very rose. I'm gonna wear a red dress.
Come out like episode 1 with a ball gown that big. I was just like, yeah, okay, you go, girl. Especially knowing how small Veronica is.
Yeah, that was definitely one suitcase. She definitely bought one suitcase.
How the hell? Seriously, back to the suitcase question. Don't get it. And then next up was Ahura, as well as Nottinghamshire with Robin Hood as well. Which was your favorite out of Tia and Ahura?
It pains me to say Ahura. I just think it was a bit more. I will say it was a bit more Peter Pan-ish.
Peter Pan. See, I was getting Zelda.
Yeah, it's almost too much of a modern spin on Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So maybe I do prefer Tia.
Well, I mean, good for you, Ahura. Like a fashion designer doing like updating Robin Hood's wardrobe. I'm here for it.
Yeah, get those extra feathers.
Yeah, and then we have Sister coming out in her Liverpool housewife
Scouse.
Yeah, Scouse. Yeah, and the only thing I could hear in my head was Vivian going dripping.
Dripping? Yeah.
So I thought it was a nice reference, and it's like, and I felt like there was a nice continuation from that storyline that Vivian started. And then we had Ellie Diamond as Dundee coming as Dennis the Menace, which is cool.
Genius! I think that is so smart.
Genius. This is the kind of drag I want to see in the UK.
I love literal drag. Yeah. I think it's so good.
And she's made the whole thing herself, and her makeup is like
and reimagined the character as well. It wasn't just like, I'm going to do a scruffy Dennis the Menace wig. It was, I'm going to do a laid, gorgeous, black Dennis the Menace wig. Yeah.
I love how you have a prop. Your pen is just like doing a lot. I only just realized it was a pen. I thought it was a vape.
Oh my God, no. Imagine. Fuck a horror.
Yeah. It was all right. Don't smoke.
Terrible.
Then, last but not least, we had Taste as Newport. Crown it. Just crown it.
Just crown it.
Why are you dragging this on for 9 episodes?
Well, I mean, drag it on as much as it needs. I need some content. I need to see something. But
bringing lots of joy into our lives, for sure.
Love it.
So the queens that were safe, RuPaul called Ginny, Tia, Cherry, Veronica, Ahura, Taste, and they are all placed as safe. I mean, some people had an issue with it. I mean, Taste was like, I can't believe I'm safe. But I was like, episode 1, you sailed through that. Like, you're all making statements and you're all representing your hometowns. Like, I thought it didn't need to be, there needs to be no red. No one needed to see red.
I'd be grateful. I would just I'd go backstage and have a nap and just be like, thank God I'm safe. Like, I wouldn't, and then maybe the next day I'd be like, oh, I think maybe I should have been top, but I'd just be safe.
I mean, I'd want to, as soon as I realized that if you're not safe, you have to stand there even longer, I would just rather be safe. I'd rather win or be safe. No in between.
You and your little kitten heels. I wish I was just safe.
I mean,
you know what? Send me home. My feet hurt.
Yeah, exactly. They're not even that high. So speaking of the queens that were tops and bottoms, we had Joe Black, Estina, Bimini, Lawrence, Sister, and Cherry Valentine. What were your thoughts on that? That top and bottom and the judges' critique. Let's wrap it all up now. I feel like we've been. I think
Cherry deserved, from entrance look and everything else that she had done, deserves to be safe.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Sister, Joe, and Estina was in the... Yeah, Estina should have been in the bottom, I think.
Yeah, I thought that Lawrence was really high for me. I thought Estina was really high for me as well. But I genuinely really appreciated what Bimini did. And maybe that's because I have loyalty with Princess Julia. And I really understood how far Bimini was taking footballer gear and that hooligan sort of wear and taking it to like a cool club sort of scene, and those heels were just so high,
so high. Yeah, I think there's a real cool message behind Bimini's football gear as well, if she kind of homed in on it, you know, like toxic homosexuality within football. Maybe I'm putting words in her mouth.
I don't know, maybe I think maybe she's like enjoying herself and just trying to make the best of it and just being cool. I think you could tell. I think what really resonated with me was that Bimini was really pissed off that like they had tape showing, and they were really upset about that, because it just like, I don't think they're that kind of queen. I think they're very detail orientated, and I think I could really notice that like Bimini has probably gone through life like always having to just make sure that they just had their attention to detail that much more because of being a queen from where she's from. And I just kind of feel like she got disheartened, and I didn't like to see that. I really wanted to see her be proud of what she did, because she did a fucking phenomenal job. Yeah. Like I personally thought it was incredible.
They all did.
yeah, they all did.
All did.
Yeah. There was a moment watching that, and I just kind of felt like we'd already lost a handful of queens, and we were like already whittling down to like the top. And then I realized that the show had just started, so it's showing that like everyone's really bringing it. Everyone is really bringing it to the ball. Sorry for my RuPaulism.
Every ball.
Yeah, no, every ball. It's like a Paris is Burningism. Go watch Paris is Burning if you haven't watched it. So the judges give their critique. Does any critique stand out, or are you agreeing with everyone? I'm
agreeing with it. Yeah, I do.
I think they were all on point, and I think they really. I think the judges were backing up the right people. I really respected Elizabeth Hurley for liking and understanding the queens and like challenging Michelle and challenging Graham Norton as well. I think that was really cool. So it comes to the decision. RuPaul says that the bottom is Bimini and Joe Black. Sister seems really relieved. She basically is really shocked.
She needs some like smoke up her ass.
Yeah, she needs someone to like slap that girl across the face, because she needs to wake up and realize she's on RuPaul's Drag Race.
She needs to bring it, yeah.
She needs to bring it.
I loved her. The Scouse look was great. I just think she obviously did messy makeup to mimic Scouse women, but I think messy can be done well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so messy can be done well. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just being too literal. It's like having more fun and like really getting in the character.
Yeah.
Getting in the character. So in our lip sync, we have Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And
I would shit myself if I got this song. Can you imagine you're like ready and then it's like, relax. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like you would have to be gimmicky with it.
Yeah, and I really respect and appreciate, admire, and am just taken by Bimini's ability to just like become so animated all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like I was just so into that, and just watching her on heels that high, knowing she could not just turn into the biggest like sex siren on that stage, was like,
yeah, that dick was gonna come out.
Yeah, and I was just
I'm convinced it did at one point.
Really? Oh, maybe.
I wasn't looking, but like when she's like on her knees, I was convinced, oh, maybe it's popped out. And now that's why she's taken to the floor.
Yeah, and I feel like Joe Black did a great job with the performance, but it just wasn't the right outfit. It wasn't the right vibe, and then at some point, just turned into like a bit of gimmickry. But I don't think it was a bad performance. I think they really sold it. But I think you could tell that they were disheartened, and they knew it was their RuPaul Drag Race lifeline being cut short.
Yeah, too short, I'd say.
Yeah. So who are you watching in love with? I know your answer.
Taze, of course, Bimini now as well, and Lawrence, really, and Tia as well. I think Tia is bringing, like we said before, this different energy. It may not be the looks, but I think she's aware of that. This different energy to Drag Race that's kind of love wins, which is the future, I believe.
I completely agree.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. From CAIN and Ryan Lanji, two like seasoned reality show stars. We know exactly what this
love wins.
Love does win. And sometimes it doesn't, but you can make more love. There's no false economy in love. Well, thank you, CAIN, so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I'd loved having you. I love seeing you. I wish I could give you a massive hug. I hope you stay safe. So if those watching want to follow you, how can they follow you and get into your digital life?
The Instagram, the naughty Twitter, the naughtier OnlyFans. But I'd suggest Instagram for the daytime.
I suggest for those of you who just met CAIN and those of you who really love CAIN, I think,
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Phase yourself into CAIN's world. I'm loving it. I think it's incredible. I love you. I think you're incredible. Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 2 of Drag Race UK season 2. Woo!